Welcome to the Glitch Report, your daily marketing botcast. Brought to you by Leadpages. Here are our hosts, Kai and Luna.
We've got a whole new set of news stories to dive into.
Some big stuff happening this week.
We're talking Google, Android, even the end of an era for a once giant platform.
Right. And what it all means for how we use tech going forward.
Exactly. So let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
First up, a story that might make you think twice about that phone in your pocket.
Always a good thing, right? To be mindful of what our devices are doing.
For sure. So this news comes from a study out of Trinity College, Dublin.
Really digging deep, academics, getting into the nitty-gritty of data.
Yeah, and what they found is kind of unsettling, to be honest.
Yeah, unsettling is a good word for it.
Android phones, they're sending data to Google.
We know, that's not the surprising part.
But it's not just when you're using apps. It's happening even before you open anything.
Oh, wow, even when it seems like your phone's just sitting there.
Exactly, that's what caught my eye too.
So what's going on here? How's that even possible?
Well, the study points to something called a DSID cookie.
Okay, cookie. We hear that word a lot online, but what's this specific one?
It's created the second you log into your Google account on your phone. And it basically acts like a digital fingerprint.
So unique to you and your device.
Right, identifying you even if you haven't opened any apps yet.
Makes you feel kind of watched, doesn't it?
It really does. Like, what data are we even talking about here?
It's not just about what apps you use, it's location, the websites you visit.
Oh, wow.
Even the time of day you're on your phone.
And all that's packaged up, sent right back to Google.
Makes you wonder what they're doing with all that, right?
Exactly. And then there's the Android ID too.
Right. I haven't forgotten about that one.
So that one's like a permanent identifier for your phone.
So even if I clear my cookies, my browsing history, it's still there.
Unless you do a full factory reset, that Android ID keeps sending data.
So wiping my phone clean, that's the only way to really stop it?
Seems that way. Yeah, it's like...
Makes you think about how much control we actually have, doesn't it?
It really does. And it makes you wonder why Google needs all this information anyway.
Yeah, what's the reason? I mean, they say it's for user experience, personalization.
Right, those buzzwords we hear all the time.
And it also raises some red flags about targeted advertising.
And even user profiling.
Are we truly aware of what we're signing up for when we agree to those terms and conditions?
You know, we click agree so often, but do we really read those?
Good question. Do we even understand what we're agreeing to half the time?
It makes you want to take a closer look, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And speaking of things that can disrupt our digital lives...
Oh yeah, big news this weekend. A Google Ads outage.
This one hits some marketers pretty hard.
Google Ads just went down. One media buyer, Alex Van de Pol, he reported a client potentially lost $52,600.
Wow, $52,600. That's no joke.
Exactly. I mean, Google downplayed the outage, but those losses are huge for businesses.
Especially those who are heavily reliant on their ad campaigns.
Makes you think about having backup plans, right?
Diversification is key, even with giants like Google.
You never know when a platform's going to go down.
Makes you rethink that all your eggs in one basket strategy, huh?
For sure. We get comfortable with these tools.
But they're not infallible.
And speaking of things changing, there's some big news.
We're saying goodbye to a communication giant this week.
After 22 years, Skype is shutting down.
Wow. End of an era, huh?
Remember when Skype was the way to connect online?
Yeah, it was revolutionary. Video calls, international chats, all for free.
I used it all the time, but I guess with Zoom, Microsoft Teams.
It's a different world now.
Skype's time has come.
Shows how fast the tech landscape can change.
You can transfer your chats and contacts to Microsoft Teams, but it's still a big shift.
Makes you wonder what tools we use now might be gone in a few years.
And what new innovations are coming that we can't even imagine yet.
It's exciting, right? Technology's always evolving.
It is, and it's up to us to keep up to be informed.
Make those choices about how we want to engage with it all.
So much to think about today, right?
For sure, we uncovered data collection on our phones.
Saw the impact of a major platform outage.
And said goodbye to a communication pioneer.
Technology's always changing, gotta stay informed.
Absolutely. It's how we shape the future.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
And keep those devices close, but maybe question them a little more too.
That's the key, informed engagement.
See you next time.